You sit in the quiet of another evening, scrolling through photos of friends celebrating anniversaries, engagements, and new beginnings. The silence in your home feels heavier tonight, pressing against your chest like an unspoken question. You've prayed countless prayers, whispered hopes into the darkness, and wondered if your heart was somehow broken or forgotten. The calendar pages turn, seasons change, and still you find yourself walking this path alone. But what if I told you that the very silence you've been fearing isn't emptiness at all? What if the waiting that feels like punishment is actually the most sacred preparation your soul has ever known? You thought God forgot you, but maybe silence isn't absence. Maybe it's the sound of your foundation being built to last forever. Tonight, let's talk about why God has kept you single and the truth nobody told you about this season of your life. There's something profound happening in the space between your prayers and their answers. Something your heart recognizes but your mind struggles to understand. You've felt it in those moments when you catch yourself laughing alone, when you discover strength you didn't know existed, when you realize you've been becoming someone you actually like spending time with. This isn't the consolation prize. This isn't God's backup plan. This is the intentional, careful crafting of a soul that will one day love with the depth of someone who first learned to be whole. The nights feel endless sometimes, don't they? You lie awake wondering if everyone else received some manual on timing that you never got. You watch couples navigate life together while you navigate it alone, and the questions multiply in the darkness. Am I behind? Am I missing something? Is there something wrong with the way I love? These thoughts echo in the spaces between heartbeats, and the silence that follows feels like an answer you don't want to hear. But here's what the darkness doesn't tell you. Here's what the loneliness whispers too quietly for your worried mind to catch. Every moment of solitude has been teaching your heart a language that can't be learned in the presence of another. Every prayer that seemed to bounce off the ceiling has been rewiring your soul to recognize the difference between connection and completion. Every tear shed in the quiet has been watering ground that will one day bloom with a love so rooted in truth that storms won't shake it. Would you still trust divine timing if it meant waiting longer than you hoped? Would you still believe in perfect love if it required you to become perfectly yourself first? Sometimes the most beautiful gardens grow in soil that's been tilled the longest. Sometimes the strongest trees are the ones that weathered seasons of standing alone, their roots growing deeper because they had to find water in their own strength. Your season of singleness isn't a delay in your love story. It's the first chapter, the foundation upon which everything beautiful will be built. Maybe that's why it's been taking so long, because heaven's been building your heart first. There's a difference between being alone and being lonely, though the world often confuses the two. Loneliness is the ache for what's missing. Solitude is the peace of what's present. God has been teaching you to transform loneliness into solitude, to find fullness in the space where you once felt empty. This isn't about convincing yourself you don't need love. This is about discovering that the love you carry within yourself is the foundation for every love that will come after. You've been learning to pray not from desperation, but from devotion. You've been learning to dream not from lack, but from vision. You've been learning to wait not from resignation, but from trust. These aren't small lessons. These are the building blocks of a heart that will one day love without fear, trust without question, and give without keeping score. The psychological truth hidden in your spiritual journey is this: our minds crave quick answers, immediate satisfaction, and clear timelines. But faith teaches us to sit with questions until peace becomes the answer. Your brain has been rewired through waiting. Your emotional intelligence has been refined through solitude. Your capacity for deep, authentic connection has been expanded through learning to connect first with the divine presence within you. Maybe it was never about finding the right person, but becoming the one who could recognize them. Think about the person you were when you first started praying for love. Think about what you thought you wanted, what you thought you needed, what you thought would complete you. Now look at who you've become through the waiting. Look at the wisdom earned through tears, the strength discovered in solitude, the peace found in uncertainty. Would that earlier version of yourself have been ready for the love your heart truly needs? The silence you've been sitting in hasn't been empty. It's been full of transformation you couldn't see, growth you couldn't measure, preparation you couldn't understand. Your heart has been learning to beat in rhythm with something greater than human love. Your soul has been tuning itself to frequencies that will one day harmonize perfectly with another soul that's been through their own season of sacred preparation. This is the truth nobody told you about singleness. It's not the absence of love. It's the presence of becoming. It's not the delay of your story. It's the deepening of your capacity to write a story worth telling. It's not punishment for some unknown failing. It's preparation for a love so aligned with purpose that it will feel like coming home and going on an adventure at the same time. Every morning you wake up and choose hope over bitterness. You're becoming someone worthy of the love you're praying for. Every evening you find gratitude in the midst of longing. You're preparing your heart to recognize abundance when it arrives. Every moment you choose growth over stagnation. You're building the person who will one day stand at the altar of a love story that makes all the waiting make perfect sense. The foundation is almost complete. The roots have grown deeper than you know. The soil of your soul has been tilled and prepared for something beautiful to take root and flourish. And here's the deeper truth that changes everything. Your singleness hasn't been about waiting for someone else to arrive. It's been about arriving at yourself. Every quiet morning when you chose to rise despite the heaviness, every evening when you found gratitude in small mercies, every moment when you decided to keep believing in love despite disappointment, you were building something unshakable within yourself. The world teaches us that love completes us, but divine wisdom shows us something different. Love reveals us. It doesn't fill what's empty, it unveils what's already whole. And that's why this season of solitude has been so essential. You needed to discover the completeness that was always there, buried beneath layers of conditioning that told you otherwise. Your heart has been learning a new rhythm, one that doesn't skip beats in desperation or race with anxiety. It's been finding its natural pace, the steady, strong rhythm that comes from being anchored in something deeper than human affection. This isn't about becoming independent to the point of isolation. This is about becoming so secure in your own worth that when love arrives, it enhances rather than rescues. The nights that felt empty were actually full of invisible work. Your subconscious mind was processing old patterns, releasing outdated beliefs about what you deserved and what love should look like. Your spirit was being refined, like precious metal in the fire, removing anything that wasn't pure. Anything that would contaminate the sacred bond you're being prepared for. Think about how different you are now from who you were at the beginning of this journey. Notice the way you handle disappointment with more grace, the way you've learned to find joy in your own company, the way you've stopped settling for connections that felt forced or desperate. These aren't small changes. These are fundamental shifts in how you move through the world. Your waiting isn't wasted. Your solitude hasn't been empty. Every quiet moment has been sacred preparation for a love story that will honor the beautiful person you've become. If this message found you at the perfect time, write Amen below and subscribe for more gentle reminders that you're exactly where you need to be.